Hello Magic Makers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing something important, something that every voice actor requires, which is a voiceover demo. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It's easy, and today I'm going to be taking you on the step-by-step process on how to make one from the comfort of your home and not having to, run into a studio where you pay about millions to get it done. Let's jump right in. Let's start from the beginning. What's actually a voiceover demo or a voiceover showreel? Well, it's pretty simple. A voiceover demo is a showcase of the voice styles, tones, and accents that you can produce with your voice. It's pretty much like a portfolio or a resume of your experience as a voice actor. And it contains a diversity of or the diversity of your voice. It also helps the casting director to know or tell if you're the right voice for what they want in their project. But you don't necessarily have to have the experience or have worked in different places for you to make a showreel. You can make a showreel from creating scripts on your own, which we'll talk about later on in the video. Moving on, let's talk about content. What should be in your voiceover demo? Well, like I earlier said, a voiceover demo is a showcase of everything you can do, which means what's your tone? What's your pitch? What voices can you make? What accents can you make? All that should be in your voiceover demo. That's the time for you to shine, to showcase your originality and versatility as a voice actor. Now, let's talk about the length. What is the length of a typical, voiceover demo? Usually it ranges from a minute to 1 minute 15 seconds and at most 2 minutes. Okay, usually if it passes 2 minutes and 3 minutes, nobody wants to hear you rambling on for 3 minutes straight. So that means the first 40 seconds or first 30 seconds of your demo is really, really important. So all of that or everything you can do should come in like the first 40 seconds because the casting director has numerous, demos to listen to. So you have to shine in like the first 40 seconds to keep them engaged. All right, let's talk about the types of demos you can produce. Usually, voice actors make different demos for different types of voiceovers. For example, you have a commercial demo, an animation demo, a narrations demo, an explainer video demo, or maybe a documentary demo. Usually you can put explainer and commercial. There are certain demos that can't merge together, which is, for example, having an animation demo inside a commercial demo just doesn't work, right? So you're just hearing, hello, get this now for sale. And then you're hearing the deals and that. No, it doesn't work. So you have to create separate demos for separate projects. So if you want to go for an animation gig, you create an animations demo. And if you want to go for a commercial, create a commercial demo that just showcases how warm you can be, how friendly your voice can be, how professional your voice can be, or corporate demo, corporate, commercials, how corporate your voice can be. So all of that you can put in there. Then animation, usually I would always say that for animation, always get someone to maybe fill you in on that because animations is a lot more technical than corporate, commercial, explainer, or even crime documentaries. Animations has a lot more into it that we would get to in another video. But today, we're just going to focus on commercial demos. All right? Next up, variety. I know we talked about content earlier and how you have to be versatile with all the tones and styles you can do. But how do you actually arrange this in such a way that the first 40 seconds that I talked about earlier would actually be catchy? So let's use a sample script as an example. I'm going to read off a book, so please excuse the writing is pretty. Right. So let's start with something friendly and youthful. So this is the script. Learning something new doesn't have to feel overwhelming. In just a few minutes a day, using the ULearn app, you can build skills that actually stick. That's youthful and warm. Now let's move over to something more corporate. Learning something new doesn't have to feel overwhelming. In just a few minutes a day, using the ULearn app, you can build skills that actually stick. Now let's do something a little sexy sounding. Learning something new doesn't have to feel overwhelming. In just a few minutes a day, using the ULearn app, you can build skills that actually stick. Sorry about the break over there. But I guess you understand what I'm trying to say. So, diversity. So, when you listen to this same script, but different tones and styles, this is how you can layer up your audio or your accents and styles in such a way where it sounds different. You sound different every time they're playing it. Okay? The first 15 seconds, your best of your best, voice. The next 10 seconds, the best or the next best of your voice. The next 10 seconds, another style. But each time the audio is changing or each time you're moving on to something new, let it be different from the first thing. Nobody wants to hear, or like I said, demo is diversity. So we don't want to hear the same thing for 1 minute straight. So make sure you're sounding different each time to showcase your styles and tones that you can produce. All right. Next up is equipment, which is one of the things that most new actors or voice actors complain about. I don't have a professional studio. I don't have a great mic. I don't have a great space. What can I do? Well, I'm here to help you out. One, you don't necessarily need to have a great, perfect space in order for you to create a great demo. In fact, one of the jobs I got recently from Discord was from my phone, recording a short demo with my phone by placing a blanket over my head and putting pillows in between my phone and literally speaking to my phone. But I'm not saying that's good for, long demos that you're going to showcase to different casting directors. But here's something that you can do. You don't have to have the most expensive mic. You can have a good mic, let's say an 80-20-20. In fact, the first demo I did was a voice demo, a commercial demo I did was from a mic I got from AliExpress, which is about $18. Yeah, really cheap. And I made a really great demo from it. All right. But here's what you need. Like I said, blankets, pillows in order to dampen the sound. Another perfect space you can use is your closet, which is filled with clothes that can help the sound not create bounce to the wall and create echoes or hit the hat or hard wall and it just doesn't sound right or create echoes on the room. So go into your closet and record in that space. It helps to drive the sound back to your phone. That's a whole different conversation. But then again, record in a very soft padded room. What you can use to help to create that soft padded room: blankets, pillows, like I said, or better still, record in your closet. Next is make sure you're recording in a space that is noise free. Like it has the lowest amount of noise ever. All right. So that is why you also can run into your closet, like I earlier said, and record in there where nobody is screaming at the back. Professionally, if you want to get a good sounding demo, you would need a good microphone. Number one would be an 80-20-20, which is affordable, a Rode mic, or an SM mic. You'd also need an audio interface. Next, you need a DAW, which is technically where you're going to be editing your audios from, which is either Adobe Audition, which is my personal favorite. I love Adobe Audition. or you can use Audacity, which most people tell me they find easy, and I don't. All right, and next you need a pop filter that would help with the P sounds or the pops that you make from your mouth. If you can get that, that would be amazing. Lastly is the final touch, which is editing your recorded voiceover. Here you get to eliminate the pops, the clicks, the noises, and also add background music. Background music is really important. It elevates your voice or your vocals in the demo. If it's upbeat, if you recorded something upbeat, go for an upbeat sound. And one place you can get that is from pixar.com. I'll place the link in the description below so you can get that as well. So with that, we've come to the end of this particular video. Move over to the next video where I'll show you in-depth scripting processes and recording processes on recording a demo. So that would be part 2, and this is part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share this with someone who may find this really helpful. Until next time, keep making magic, and love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.